Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Grue Room. Today, for the Grue Room, we got a very great guest. His name is Drummond. And when he comes in, I'm going to have him say his name just in case, I said it wrong. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room. And today we're going to talk to him about his podcast, and he's very big on mental health, and we're going to talk to him about everything. So we're really looking forward to talking to him today, and the interview with him is coming up next. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming on the show, bud.
Yeah, absolutely no problem at all.
Wanted just to ask you how you say your name, just in case I wind up saying it wrong.
Yeah, so my name is Drummond Culture. Culture is kind of an additional part that I added for my social media platforms, but my last name is Fulcher, so culture and Fulcher
Oh,
rhyme. So I've just been going by Drummond Culture here online.
oh wow, nice. Okay, hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah, it gives me a little bit of safety for people trying to find me on social platforms using my full name. So
There you go. So I see you have a show, and you got your own podcast, Positive Talks. So can you tell us a little bit about the show and how it started and what made you want to do it and all that?
yeah, sure. So Positive Talks really just kind of came out of nowhere for me. 2020, I think all of us can agree, did not turn out the way any of us had planned.
Oh no.
And so I had gotten my passport in 2019. I had tons of different plans to kind of do a lot of traveling and collabing with people that I had met previously at VidCon the year before.
Okay.
And I was just super excited to be able to finally have a job where I could work remotely and still get paid while traveling and creating content like I love doing. And when the pandemic hit and kind of put a stop to all travel and really put a stop to collabing with people who even lived close to me, we decided that I was still going to do it somehow. At the beginning of the year, I had a lot of friends send me footage of them, and I tried to kind of mush it all together for a YouTube video. And it was really nice, but that was a lot of work because not all my friends are content creators. So getting them to understand like the formatting and lighting is important, and like the mic volumes were all different. I was just like, this is not working. So I was kind of getting a little depressed about, oh, I'm just not going to be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my YouTube channel was really doing well in 2019. And with the pandemic, with the election here in the United States, with the Black Lives Matter movement, being a white male content creator, I didn't feel like I could really put out content that would be beneficial to what was going on at that time.
True.
And
True.
I kind of stepped back from YouTube, but I felt like a piece of me was missing. And that's kind of where Positive Talks came from. Was
Oh wow.
I took a lot of time to ask myself, like, what type of content could I create that would be beneficial and wouldn't take away from what was happening in today's world? Because I didn't want to be doing like videos about my life and just kind of random topics, because I felt like that was a distraction from what was important. But I didn't feel like I was educated enough to create content around those topics to be able to make a YouTube video and not do it an injustice.
True.
So I knew that positivity was something the world needed.
Oh, definitely.
I figured if I did interviews, because I know that my story can only reach so many people and connect with so many different people, that if I started kind of bringing people together and just having really authentic conversations, that I could kind of start opening people's eyes and showing people that we're really not that different. And for the ones that are different, I think that a lot of the reasons why people can't like get on board with people being different was because different is scary in a lot of senses. So I figured
Yeah.
if we get a positive talk showing people that different just means different, it doesn't have to be scary. It can be celebrated. So I try to do all of that with my positive talks, which
Wow. Nice. Oh, wait, your screen just froze a little bit.
is over, but like it became like the best part of my day. So I tried to keep it going. And I mean, I'm over 100 episodes now, so it's been really exciting.
Oh man, that's so awesome. I love that. I I love hearing about that kind of stuff about how you just went you just went for it, like you had a YouTube channel, but you wanted to do something else, so you went in and you went in with the podcast, and 100 plus episodes in. That's like the same thing I did with this show. When COVID hit and I was in the house and couldn't move out of the house, only go to the grocery store and back. I was bored out of my mind, so I was just like, you know what? Um, I'm gonna try this out and I'm gonna see how it works. And I'm the same way. I'm like over 100 plus in too now with my episodes for the show.
I mean, you can take the time because I think that so many people before the pandemic would always say they never had time for things
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to do. And then the pandemic was like, here's the time. And I think
Exactly.
that a lot of people took that time to be productive or like become more self-aware of who they are. But then there were some that really didn't take advantage of that time. So it's nice
Oh,
to
I
kind of
know.
see other people who created something with that time that they were given.
Yeah, definitely. And with your show, Positive Talks, you touch on a lot of different things. Like what topics do you did you love covering the most for your show? Because I mean, you're 100 plus episodes in, so every episode you probably had like a different topic to talk talk about.
Yeah, I would say the nice thing about the positive talks was that I found some people who you would really look at their accounts and admire and wish that you had their life, and they were able to kind of step away from that picture perfect life that they try to make appear on social platforms.
Yeah.
And they kind of showed us that they have their own struggles, and it is a daily struggle for them sometimes when it comes to overcoming some of the things that life has put on their plate. And honestly, I would say just kind of hearing those types of stories, because I too suffered from comparing myself to people on social
Oh,
platforms.
trust me, I'd do the same thing.
And like I when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, I just want to show people that like my life is not perfect. But a lot of people don't do that because they might be afraid that people will judge them for some of their downfalls or some of their flaws that exist. And I was just blown away with how many people were just so willing to just open up and be their authentic selves,
Hmm.
because they could have given me like this like photoshopped version of their life and talk about how perfect it was,
Oh,
but
of course.
they got down into the details and talked about the struggles and things that they've had to overcome in life. And I think that that's really inspiring for me and anyone who watches the positive talks.
Oh, yeah. But like most when fans look at the stars, like whether it be actor or music star, models, whatever stars you like, OnlyFans, whatever. Like they think they have like these perfect lives, and that like these stars aren't sad or aren't don't cry or don't get mad or don't get happy. Like I don't know why a lot of fans think like that. I mean, stars are people. They're I mean, they get more money than us, but
Some
but
of them.
but when it comes down to it, normal, everyday pe- people, just like us. Like they cry, they laugh, they have their good days, they have their bad days, and like a lot of people don't think that when they are watching these people on television and or listening to them on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, I did a live with someone who had never
Oh, froze again a little bit.
heard him speak. So it was very interesting for people to kind of get a taste of that on my live, because before he was just kind of a picture. And I think that the more you can see that someone's a human, like the more you can sympathize with them, because a lot of times I feel like people that are influencers or celebrities think that they have a perfect life, and then when they come out about mental health problems or anything like that, I think that people don't show as much sympathy or empathy towards them, because they're like, well, sucks to have a big mansion and be depressed, or sucks
Mm,
to have millions of dollars and be depressed. But like at the end of the day, like a house doesn't make your life any better. Like being alone in a big house depressed is just as bad as like sitting in a small apartment and
exactly.
depressed. Like
Exactly.
mental health does not desert anyone. It can get any of us.
I know you're right about that. Like your screen froze a little bit when you were talking about like who was the person you were talking about that you had on that talked about being depressed.
Oh, I've just had tons of people. I'm gonna see if
Oh.
plugging my computer in, but yeah, I've had friends that I've done lives with where their following had never seen them speak before, and
Hmm.
I think that that's just interesting to kind of know that people's perceptions of us, because what we don't show the world, people fill in the blank. Like it's not. They just assume it's a mystery. They give us a story if we don't tell our story ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right about that. And like with with your show, are you hoping your show reaches a lot of fans and helps the fans, like the fans that watch your show, if they're going through something, whether they're down or angry or whatever, like do you hope your show is actually going to help them when they listen to it?
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, when I started creating content, I really asked myself, like, what did I need to hear? Because I think that growing up, there was a lot of things I wish that there was someone telling me that it was okay, or that everyone's kind of feeling this way. It's not just you.
Yeah.
And I tried to create content. For me, it's not so much about growing a following, sorry, but it's more about putting it out there just so that it exists, so that people don't feel alone, because I did feel very alone growing up dealing with all the stuff that I dealt with. So I just try to create content so that it's out there and searchable for people to find it if they start to kind of feel that way.
Oh wow, okay. And you have a YouTube channel. When did you first start doing that?
Oh my goodness. That's been a while. So my first channel was an accident.
Really?
I I came out in 2008,
Okay.
and there was a lot of people that just kept asking the same annoying questions about like
Oh,
answer to.
wait, the screen froze again a
Yeah,
little bit.
I
I
saw you
didn't get that.
smiling and froze. But yeah, I started the channel, or I posted a video because tons of people were asking the same questions over and over again when I came out. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make one video and share it. And anytime people have questions, I'm just going to send them this link. And
There you go.
originally I planned on putting it on my Facebook, but at the time, Facebook only allowed videos that were 2 minutes or shorter.
Oh.
And someone told me to upload it to the platform called YouTube and that I could share the link to Facebook. So did that, not knowing that I was posting it for the world to see. I thought it was just whoever had the link could see that video.
Uh-huh.
So left it alone for quite a while. I'd only looked at the comments on my Facebook video. I never knew that there was a place to comment under the YouTube as well. Wasn't until like 2 years later that someone reached out to me and asked how I dealt with all the hate comments that I was getting.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's when
Really?
I kind of went back to YouTube and I saw it all. By that time, I didn't know how to get back into that account because back then it wasn't connected to Gmail accounts like it is now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was its own platform without Google. And I was just kind of looking through all the comments. And yes, there were lots of hate comments, but there was also a lot of comments where people were like, I agree. I feel the same way. Like, this story really helped me. Thank you for sharing
Oh,
this
wow.
personal
Nice.
story. And it kind of made me realize that more people need to share it. The shy person I was at that time probably would have never shared it on a public platform
Right.
knowingly, but I'm glad that it did kind of start there. I'd only really had 3 videos on that channel by the time YouTube asked me to kind of be a branded partner with them.
Really?
Second one was I had a 5-year relationship with a guy and it ended. So I recorded a video the day after the breakup
Oh,
and kind
wow.
of showed the raw emotions of how much it hurts for my relationship to just kind of blow up in my face, with
Yeah.
the intention of creating a video a year later to kind of show them the growth from the day after the breakup to a year after.
Oh,
And
wow.
those 3 videos did really, really well. And that's when YouTube asked me to kind of partner with them. But I shared a lot of information on that channel. I did like a video where I like stuck my camera in my windshield and like drove home and then sped it up for kind of a video effect, not knowing that
Nice.
people could slow it down and figure out where I lived. So that I learned a lot from YouTube and making sure that my identity and where I live and all of that stuff is protected. But I deleted all of it when I started getting stalkers and the police told me that there was nothing that they could do, that
Oh
it's
my
not
God, are you
illegal to be
serious?
creepy. So I got scared. If you look at all my social platforms, they start back over in 2013, beginning of 2014, because everything before that I deleted because I just didn't want any personal information out there. And it was so much easier
Wow.
to just wipe it than try to find anything that a stalker might be able to use to kind of find me or the people that I care about.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of lessons learned.
Wow. Damn. Like I mean, like these, they really like searched all your videos for clues just to find out where you lived.
Yeah, I I've learned that when it comes to people who want the information, they can go above and beyond any normal person's way of going about it. Like if I wanted to know where someone lived, I would ask. If they didn't want me to know and didn't tell me, then I'd just give up.
Yeah,
Not how
exactly.
other people are. And I felt like there was too many places that I had tagged across social platforms.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just like, my family's homes and everything were just way
Gotcha.
too
Gotcha.
available for people to find. So I started over. It wasn't as easy to build a social following, mainly because now it's very saturated and everyone wants to be a YouTuber.
Exactly.
So it's been
Exactly.
a slow and steady climb back up to the top, but it's been a fun journey. I've definitely matured since my first channel, and I think that my content has definitely improved since then too.
Wow, nice. So like your YouTube channel is different than your podcast, right? Like it's
Mhm.
two different things.
Yeah. And I've learned that I have 2 very separate audiences as well. So there are people who watch
Really?
me on YouTube that don't have Instagram accounts and don't watch anything over there. So I went on a hiatus of 2020 and just got back to my YouTube here recently. So there were people who just thought I dropped off the face of the earth, and they're like, "You're back."
So like your pot positive talk show is of course about talking positive about everyday life and the world that we live in, and your YouTube channel is basically like you like having fun, right? Like you with your friends, or you going on a date or something, right?
Yeah, so I definitely have videos talking about some horrible dates that I've been on, and I've definitely done some fun, goofy videos as well with my friends for different collab stuff that I've done. But yeah, my YouTube was definitely more geared towards just kind of telling my own personal story, so that people knew that there were other people out there on
Mhm.
the same journey that go through some of the same experiences. Because I still identify as a Christian, and being
Oh, good.
gay, like that's a journey that most gay people either they give up religion or they give up being gay.
Yeah.
Whereas I chose both because that's both of them are a part of me, and I won't allow other people to tell me I can't be whatever I want.
Exactly.
So I kind of share those journeys, and it's very interesting kind of seeing like videos from like 6 years ago and how I spoke about certain things and how I feel now.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to be as authentic as possible. So most of my videos are still up and able to be watched, but it's funny to see like little baby me talking versus me here at 32.
Okay. And when you first came came out, like were how did like your friends take it, and like your mom and dad family take it and stuff, like when you first told everybody?
Yeah, so I didn't choose to come out. My
Oh.
stepsister decided to out me to my family.
Oh my God.
So I in a way, like, it sucks because I believe everyone should have the right to choose when they come out to the people that are in their life, but also
Exactly.
like I feel like I probably would have been in the closet a lot longer had she not done that.
Okay.
So I'm upset that it happened, but also thankful that it did, because that started my journey of like self-acceptance and self-love sooner than I might have started it myself. But my dad has always kind of had an issue with it. He's gotten better.
Okay.
He still, when he like meets a significant other that I might bring home, kind of gives them the very short end of the stick. Sometimes he's pretended they don't even exist in that same place.
Yeah.
Whereas when you see like my sister, when she brings a guy home, like my dad's sitting there having a conversation
Oh
with
yeah,
him.
of course.
But for the rest of my family, like most of them were very accepting. My youngest sister that I live with now, she's also part of the LGBT
Oh,
family.
nice.
So uh, my dad got blessed with two of us, and then my other sister is very fluid as well. So he might as well just say he's been blessed with three very LGBT children.
There you go. Okay. Oh man, that's funny. Like, and like, what quotes do you like? Because I was on your page earlier, and you have like a ton of quotes like all over your page, and it's all happy quotes, positive quotes, and I was reading some of them, and I was loving it, because like it's very positive, and it it could it could hit something you're going through and put a smile on your face. So like, what are some quotes you love it to say, or you love hearing? Oh, screen froze again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to like turn off anything that might be taking Wi-Fi here, but
It's all
I'm good on
right.
Wi-Fi. But I mean, yeah, I use a lot of quotes. I think that when it comes to the content that I put out, I don't want it to just be like a smiling picture of me. I want
Mm-hmm.
it to kind of also have like that additional like push for positivity and trigger you to think a little bit more as well. But I think that my favorite quote is like the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, just because for me, uh, there's so many experiences that I would have never experienced if I didn't just take that first step and try it.
That's true.
And so, me, as a YouTuber, that was a step. I think the positive talks are a step. And I just here recently stepped out of corporate America to be an entrepreneur and do life coaching as well as my content.
Oh,
And
sweet.
that was a
Nice.
step. Sometimes you get kicked in the rear to force you into that step. But I think that just trying new things is so important when it comes to our lives. Because when it comes to finding happiness in life, I think too many people find that place of comfort where, I would love this, but you know
Yeah.
what? It's not that bad here, so I'm just going to stay.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I've kind of learned to step out of that every time. Anytime I feel comfortable and I think that there might be something like better out there suited for me, I'm like, let's take that step. And right now I've got lots of projects going, so I've taken
Really?
lots of steps in different directions.
Oh, wow.
But
Nice.
I think it's important to kind of take that step because I love the view and I've learned to love the journey as well. Like I don't think happiness is a destination. I think every step I take, I can find happiness within the journey. So I try to do that. And I love hiking. So anything about a journey for me.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I saw that too on your page. You love hiking, and it looks like you like camping too, right?
Yes. I definitely haven't done the camping in a while. My
Okay.
sisters and my mom, we would all go together like growing up. And here recently, I've definitely become more familiar with living indoors with AC and having a nice hot shower. So this past camping trip was a little bit of a shock for me, but it was kind of nice to get away from everything and just kind of sit. Because I think too often our brains are tied to social media,
Yeah,
thinking that
exactly.
we have to check it to make sure like there's comments and likes and make sure that there's nothing bad happening on there.
Hmm.
And I didn't do that while I was there. I was recording so that I could post a YouTube video, but I didn't connect to the internet or to cell service. So I was in the middle of nowhere with just a camera pretty much.
Oh, wow, it's awesome. You know that's actually good to do. Like every now and then you need a break from everything, break from your cell phone, a break from the internet, a break from social media, TikTok, whatever. Like you just need like a weekend, a couple days, just go out, enjoy life, like enjoy life when there wasn't a such thing as an internet or a cell phone.
Yeah. I mean, just pull out a good book and just kind of relax and allow life to kind of just exist without you having to like be doing something every second.
Exactly. Exactly. You're right. And you I saw something on your page like you're a big supporter of anti-bullying too, right?
Yes. I I definitely had a lifetime of bullying. I think that it's always so interesting when people see content creators and they're just like at all at what we do with our lives. But I think a lot of people have like the stories of bullies from when they were younger and not wanting to see that same like story play out for people in the next generation down is definitely what a lot of people focus on. And it's funny because now that I'm an adult and I've reconnected with some of the people that were bullies when I was younger,
Hmm.
I, to kind of hear their story, I realized that they didn't have the easiest life either.
Oh, wow.
So I've been in the position to be very forgiving of people. And I started to realize that a lot of times people that hurt other people are hurting themselves. And it's kind of a sign that that person is struggling as well. And we sometimes have to heal ourselves first so that we can help other people. And I definitely had a lot of healing from all the traumatic things that the bullying had caused.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always nice to kind of be thrown into a position like me where I went from having no friends as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I had a birthday party and invited like 50 people and one person showed up. So
Oh
like now I and so many people show that we have to make sure that we aren't breaking any rules of how many people can be in a certain spot.
wow, that's
And
awesome.
so it's a very different, like every time I throw a party, that little kid inside of me still like gets anxious and nervous that no one's going to show up. I don't know how many parties I'll have to throw to have tons of people show up for me to finally realize that I'm not that kid anymore.
Yes.
But it was definitely a lot of stuff, and I feel it all the time. Like there will be things where I get triggered and certain hurt emotions come back up, and then I just ask myself like, why do you feel this way? Why do
Mm-hmm.
you have self-doubt? And a lot of it goes back to just kind of the bullying that I had to go through when I was younger.
Yeah, like with that, a lot of people, like when you're being bullied, like a lot of people don't realize that words actually hurt worse than fists. Like I'll rather be punched in the face by someone than someone standing there for 5 minutes just saying all these like mean words to me, you know?
Yeah.
Like words hurt worse than any kind of fight, any kind of physical fight you can be in. And people don't realize that, well, especially kids when they're young, they don't realize their words are are hurting you, and people and the people that they're bullying, the people that they're teasing, like they go home and they're sad, they cry, some even take their own lives because they can't handle it. And it's really sad that like that people and kids can't realize like how hurtful their words are.
Yeah. I when I do my positive talks, when I do YouTube videos, like I ask God to make sure that I don't do anything that's going to add to someone's trauma. I
Mm-hmm.
know that a lot of the topics that I talk about, like I've done positive talks with people with disabilities, and that's something I have not personally dealt with. So I was very scared that somehow I might say something that would be an attack or stepping on someone's foot when it comes to disabilities, or when it comes to people of the trans experience. That's not an experience that I have as a cis white gay man.
Yeah.
And for me, like those topics are so important to be spoken about, and I do have a following that needs to hear that. But it's definitely something that I'm aware of when it comes to when I speak, knowing that my words have an impact, and I try to use those for good. And unfortunately, sometimes because of ignorance around a topic or certain people's experiences, you could say something. But I've learned to not get defensive when someone points out something that I might have done, and
Mm-hmm.
just apologize and promise to do better next time. But it's definitely true. I think there needs to be more things in the education system to let children know uh, that their words carry a lot more,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
I know that they say like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I don't believe in that at all,
That's so furthest from the truth.
because the bully, I feel like, doesn't, like, you could literally say something really hateful and walk away from it and that be such a quick moment in your life. But the
Mm-hmm.
person on the receiving end, that could be a life-changing statement that now they have self-doubt for the rest of their life. And I think that that needs to be taught. I think that old saying needs to be wiped off.
Oh,
And
definitely. Uh, I mean, because I know all about the bullying and stuff because with my speech stuttering and stuff. Like I was born with that. Like I I've stuttered from when I was a kid up until now. I I've gone, I did classes, speech classes and all that stuff while I was in school. And even they had some kind of device you could buy and it put it on you and it's supposed to make you stop, and that didn't work either. So nothing ever worked on me. Therapy, stuttering devices, nothing ever worked on me. So I just had to, that's part of me, that's who I am. And and here I am, like, doing videos.
I was gonna say, like, that's a huge thing to like say, like, you didn't allow that to stop you from doing something that you wouldn't necessarily say a person with a stutter would jump into. Like, I mean, I was extremely shy and I got the worst stage fright all the way up through college. So to think that I'm now doing any type of public speaking, I'm like, this is a little crazy. But yeah, my mom growing up, she volunteered a lot in the school, and she
Okay.
was always there to kind of help the like outcast or the underdogs of the
Oh,
school. So
nice.
those people kind of became my friends. So like I was never part of like the popular crowd. I was always
Exactly.
kind of there with everyone else that had kind of been bullied and
Mm-hmm.
made to feel lesser than. So I had friends that also had stutters, and I kind of watched them go through
Oh,
different
yeah.
stages and like hope that something was going to like help them with it. And I mean, some I would say have gotten better, but there were a lot of people who kept getting disappointed over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
but still find ways to kind of navigate through the world
Yeah.
and not let it hold them back.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I know some people that actually went for help for it and actually got cured. And but it don't happen for everybody, but I am happy for the ones it does happen for.
The brain is a crazy thing.
I know, right? And wanted to actually, like, every time I have a guest on, I always ask them this because I also run a horror site, and I always ask if you like horror movies, and if you do, what are some horror movies you love to watch?
So I do like horror movies. It's kind of
Okay.
hard for me to find other people that like them. So a lot of times I watch them by myself. But I grew up in the middle of nowhere. We have like this huge cabin in the middle of the woods, and there's definitely a lot of crazy things that have happened there. Also, living in the middle of nowhere, when you hear sounds,
Yeah.
horror movies definitely give you a lot to add to your imagination of what it could be. But I would say like the Conjuring series is definitely my favorite horror film,
Nice. Nice.
mainly because like I love things that have more than just a like simple story. I love backstory. I love how they all kind of intertwine, and I love how every single new movie they come out with, it's like, and it fits here in the timeline and it's
Right.
here with this one, because I think and like they were real people. So like it's easy to kind of give that timeline like some truth into it. But like I think that they've done a really good job. I There's a lot of jump scares in there that have
Oh,
gotten me,
definitely.
and I think that a movie that I can walk out of and still kind of like not be terrified of the world, but just like know that I was jumped and scared during the movie, I can appreciate that. I would say least favorite is probably the Purge series.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's too real. I don't
Yeah.
like. I feel like we are so close to being in a world where the government might start doing
I
something
know.
like that.
I
And
know.
sitting in an audience where people are like talking about all the people that they would kill, uh, like the guy who stops the girl from stealing the candy bar and she comes back to kill him that night. Like, I've worked in retail, and like when you tell customers no, I'm just like, oh gosh, I'm probably on so many people's list because I told them like I couldn't get them a new phone. Like I just think the Purge series, it's too close to reality for me to enjoy, but like the Conjuring stuff, like I really enjoy.
Oh, nice, nice. Are there any shows you're currently binge watching?
So I did just start. So it is the Shadowhunters. It's on HBO.
I heard of that. Yes.
So I started reading a book that was like about Magnus Bane and his boyfriend Alec Lightwood.
Hmm.
And I found those books because last year I was asking people for more LGBT like recommendations because I
Yeah.
wanted to actually read books that kind of made it feel normal. When love stories for gay people are told, like that makes it feel like you're less of a weird person for having that. So like I just wanted to kind of start finding novels and stuff around that. And that author added a gay love like couple in there and gave them their own little series apart from the series that like exist in the whole world of the underworld stuff. And I think that it's kind of nice to be able to read that book. But I'm just now getting to watch it on Hulu because
Yeah.
I moved to Richmond. When I lived in the country, I didn't have access to like any of the streaming services.
Oh,
So I've got so many to catch up on, but I'm definitely catching up on that one.
nice, nice. And what kind of songs do you like? Like, what's on your playlist?
I have so many. So I'm all over the place with music. I would definitely say my number one is Carrie Underwood. I
Nice.
I've loved her ever since she was on American Idol. But here recently, I've been listening to Hayden Joseph, who is a gay country artist.
Oh, wow,
He
nice.
put out a song called "The Guy After the Guy,"
The guy
and
after the guy.
it's like it's a song about like the guy that gets like the other person always comes to him after their heart was broken, but he's never the one that
Oh,
they choose. He's just
oh,
the guy
wow.
after the guy. And like every time I talk about it or listen to that
Wow.
song, like chill bumps rise on my arm because I've been that guy so many times. Like people come to me and cry about having their heart broken, and I'm there to like support them and love them. And then it's on to the next one for them, and then I'm just sitting here. So I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
that song was very personal. And then before my positive talks, I try to like listen to like really upbeat music to like
Okay.
get me in a good mindset. And I've been listening to Devil in the Details by Rose. She was
Oh,
one of the
okay.
queens on RuPaul. She's actually dating my friend Eddie, and
Really?
I've done so many things to support Rose through her career, and she's a phenomenal drag queen. So
Wow,
definitely
okay.
support her for that. But since she's dating my friend, I feel like I'm
You
a little
definitely have
biased.
to support her now.
Yeah, I can't let her down. But that song is really good. It's definitely a good little bop. I tried to get them to play it at the club the other night,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Well, people like to sing along to the songs, and no one knows that one." And I'm like, "Well, they will after tonight."
Nice. Hey, you have to make people listen to different songs, or they're never gonna know what it is. I mean, if they listen to it and they don't like it, okay. Not everyone likes everything, but if they do listen to it and like it, that's another fan.
Yeah, I mean, when people take car trips with me, like they're going to hear tons and tons of like YouTubers and content creators like versions of songs
Yeah,
because I don't download like the original like Taylor Swift songs
yeah,
and all that. Like I have other people singing them just because
gotcha.
sometimes I like those versions better. So people will be like listening to it and they're like, "How do I know this song?" I'm like, "Well, it's originally sung by this person, but this is a YouTuber singing it."
Nice, nice. And I don't know if you drink or not, but what's your drink of choice?
Huh. So I prefer like the ciders. So when I lived in the mountains here,
Yep. Okay. Let's see. I'm sure you'll be coming back. There you go.
What was the last thing you heard?
Fighters.
Okay. Yeah, so I stick to ciders. I lived right beside Bold Rock, which is like a little cidery here in Virginia and North
Oh,
Carolina. And I kind of choose those mainly because I like to kind of get a little bit of a buzz, but I don't like going off the deep end,
yeah.
and
Yeah, of
liquors
course.
usually do that for me. So I stick with like the ciders just to kind of get a little loose, but still be very coherent by the end of the night.
There you go. I love it. And is there anything else coming out that you want to talk about, or any guests coming up on your show do you want to plug, or?
Was gonna say, you see the long list of people back here. So those are all the people that I'm still working into my schedule.
Wow.
I took a little break this week just to kind of get back into a good headspace. But I would say just keeping an eye out on my content, because I have a lot of balls rolling with my coaching business. I'm really focusing on seminars to do. So
Okay.
like I've got one that I'm working on to help people build their content. So if someone wanted to start a YouTube channel or an Instagram or a podcast, I kind of go over the things that I have found to help me kind of grow at a
Oh,
quicker
wow.
level, so that you don't have to start at zero and learn all the long lessons I learned. But then I've got other stuff as well for like the actual like life coaching. I do the LGBT trauma coaching, because a lot of people have been traumatized from society or the gay culture.
Mhm.
And I work with people to kind of heal past traumas so that they can kind of move forward. So there's a lot of different, I'm trying to make them seminar instead of one-on-one coaching,
Oh, okay.
because it can be very draining to work one-on-one with hundreds of people, whereas doing a
Sure.
seminar, which would all be virtual, because I much prefer virtual life, but I've got all of that kind of going around, have to get like legal documents and all of that stuff figured out,
Oh.
working with a couple people on that. But it's definitely in the works, and I'm super excited about it. The goal is September, so definitely be looking out for that type of stuff across my platforms as well.
Oh, I definitely will. Yeah. And where can fans find you at? Like, what's your
Yeah, so I'm
social
Drummond
medias?
Culture across all my platforms. So got a Patreon that's launching soon. That will be under Drummond Culture, and then YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of it's Drummond Culture. So I'm there.
Sweet. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out again and coming on the show and talking. It was really fun talk talk talking to you. Like I love hearing positive stuff instead of negatives.
Yeah, I think we've just got it. I just released a YouTube video today talking about the importance of understanding how the algorithms of the internet work, because too often we click on the buttons to read that negative stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that sends
Mm-hmm.
people the message that that's what we want to see more of. We've got
Yes.
to twist that algorithm to the right or left, whichever direction you need to go, to make it more positive. So when you see something inspiring and positive, give it a like, a share, whatever,
Exactly.
because the internet, it's operating off the inputs we put in. And
Yeah,
as
right. Exactly.
viewers, we have to make sure that we're saying, hey, we want to see the good stuff too.
True. Wow. Thank you again. Like this has been, I really mean it, this has been so much fun, and I really like talking to you. Like you definitely you definitely are like nice and down to earth and really positive, just like your show says.
Well, I appreciate you for reaching out to me. It's still a very new thing for me to have people reaching out to me to do things like this. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate it, and keep up the good work. Like I've listened to a couple of your other episodes, and they were really good. And
Thank you.
I
Thank you. I
think you got a
appreciate
good
that.
thing going. And it looks like you are not having any trouble finding really interesting people to do interviews with.
That's true. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Oh, your screen froze right at the end. There you go. I was just saying your screen froze right at the end of the interview.
Hopefully I was smiling.
Exactly. All right. Just want to say have a good night and a great rest of the week, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.